into this, it's a best of 5, and you feel that you're the better team. So you should be like, hey, you know what? At worst, we'll 3-1. So I think NAR should have that confidence going for them. But Team Liquid's hero-wise, Lycan, Batrider, these are some of the best heroes in the patch. And we haven't seen Lycan at all this qualifier.
No, he's kind of like dropped off.
Well, I think he's been banned out, right? Has he?
We had asked Nahaz. Luckily, that's the reason why we have our stats man here. I haven't, my brain doesn't recall that many bans, but I'm also wondering, like, does Lycan really fit into a lot of the support combinations we've been seeing picked up? Even the mid heroes being picked up. How often have we seen the Invoker Necro books coming up with Lycan, also with these Necro books, and we go into this push kind of style? It's more like we're watching heavy engagement or hold back in for this duo combo, like with tiny kind of thing. We jump in, we get some kills, we go back, we farm. We jump in, we get some kills, we take a landmark, and then we farm again. As opposed to Lycan, which is, we run you under your towers, we fight you the entire way, and 20 to 30 minutes into the game, we're looking to end the game.
Yeah, I mean, I think Lycan is a great pickup against a support hero like Disruptor because he doesn't really do anything to Lycan. You don't have a hard lockdown, kinetic feel, it's hard to land on a very mobile hero like Lycan. And if Lycan ever gets a BKB, you're just absolute food to that hero.
Yeah.
Thing I want to point out is you mentioned the Invoker. I mean, no bans, no picked up. So yeah. A lot of times when we were talking to Sing's highlight up there, it's like, oh, this will be a good spot for Invoker, but teams are not picking him up.
Yeah.
So I wonder if either of these teams going to go back to that hero. And the other question that begs is, what kind of Lycan is this? Team mouse boards, the new mouse boards. They run Lycan safe lane. We see EG run in mid, we see some team run in jungle, so obviously this hero is very versatile in terms of laning. We don't know what Team Liquid is going to do here either.
Yeah. The only thing that reveal the fact is SK and SD will be their support combination, but even then that doesn't reveal if they're going to be aggressive or not. We know Sand King is basically this... Ever since the change to Sandstorm, he's as powerful as Crystal Maiden is, if not better, because the ulti you kind of want to throw down during the team fights at the very, very start, and it has a high impact as opposed to Crystal Maiden, which is, oh, I still got to stand where I am to make this really work. So Team Liquid, they have a ganking roaming combination from their supports. They have the ability to farm up inside the jungle through 2 different ways with both Batrider and SK, and their laning is insanely solid, because killing off a Batrider with a Disruptor, obviously it's a lot easier to kill off that Batrider because you just glimpse him back if you can have that second point up in glimpse. But at the same time, it may be enough time for Tidehunter, for SD to TPM there, come in with disruptions. So it's not always going to be guaranteed that North American Rejects can get their initiations off correctly. And Tide's their final one, so we got a second team fight controller with Disruptor and Tide.
Yeah, judging from how this game is looking based on the hero pickup, I think Team Liquid definitely has a better late game with their Batrider initiation and Lycan being
5 seconds remaining.
I guess the hardest carry so far. I think what North American Rejects looking to do is push early and push fast. Because if you look at Tidehunter, before those BKB comes up, he is reigning supreme. With Tidehunter and Disruptor, you have the AoE teamfight under lockdown. Dragonite gives you the early game push. And Mirana with the ganking with Moonlight Shadow, as well as just early game pickoff with her kind of high spell damage. I think they could kind of attack Team Liquid from all axes. So I think this last pickup really needs to shore up Team Liquid's weaknesses, which so far is counter push. And I think they also need a team fight hero to kind of deal against Disruptor and Tidehunter.
Who is going to fit into that slot, or at least who does Team Liquid think is going to fit into that? North American Rejects, man, I'm actually really worried for Team Liquid in the early stages, as far as like that Tidehunter lane. SK can't harass him back. SD is not going to be effective in harassing the Tidehunter back. It's almost to a point where I'm wondering if Batrider and Tidehunter should try and find each other in the lanes for Team Liquid's advantage there. But North American Rejects, if they dodge this and have Disruptor and Mirana there, the SK, the SD, yeah, I'm just thinking right now the Tide can get complete uncontested farm at the start of this.
Well, if Team Liquid's picking up their trialing carry to be a very heavy stunner, they can deal with the Tidehunter because they could disrupt Soul Catcher and then nuke him down to death. But that means Lycan's going to go mid, which is actually not too hard because if you assume that DK is going mid and you actually get that matchup, DK versus Lycan is like kitten hitting each other early on. You know, you just auto crow both ways and things should be good.
5 seconds remaining.
So, well, it's going to be Invoker. So we might actually see a safe lane Invoker. And between Soul Catcher, Disruption, and a Cold Snap on top, I think that'd be enough to deal with Tidehunter or whoever else.
Would be. The other catch is here, what if Tidehunter heads down to the bottom lane?
and then do offensive trialing from NAR.
Yeah, like NAR can still shift their draft around here. If they're not feeling comfortable in their lanes, even pushing that Murano into a support role. I'm not going to say it's like the best choice that could come up here,
10
but
seconds
just if they
remaining.
want to add that early aggression, just look for the arrow and then they can find themselves another
5
core here,
seconds
which would in
remaining.
fact have that stun. But they say no, they'll grab the Enchantress, and this is either a lot of early game pressure into that tier 1 tower or bottom lane, or they're going to try and contest up inside of Liquid's jungle. We actually saw this yesterday when a Keeper of the Light tried to farm up inside the jungle, and then Enchantress just walks in, grabs himself 1 or 2 creeps, and then found themselves with first blood in the top lane.
I think against Shadow Demon and Sand King, they are weak enough as early game supports that you can make those plays, and that means you're going to leave Mirana and Disruptor dual lane top, which is actually not too bad. At the same time, what are you really getting out of it? You're getting a TIE Hunter farming against Rider, which it's nothing too exciting.
Yeah.
So I feel like, yeah, they can do that, but maybe, most likely, I don't think they will. But obviously, these guys are the pros. Let's see how they decide how they want to lane this.
10 seconds
I would put my
remaining.
money on 1437 going into the jungle. And I know,
Well, yeah,
5
that's a
seconds
bow
remaining.
guess, Toby.
yeah,
Enchantress.
yeah. I should have said dire jungle before I made that comment.
Okay, so you think he's actually offensive jungle? What-
Yeah, I really feel there should be an offensive jungle right now.
Prepare for
Just because
battle.
I don't want to see Sand King free farming. The only other option I would see is if 1437, well, he does have a smoke on him to start with. So if he just grabbed 1 creep and went ganking with his Disruptor, it might be enough, but he'd need a very good creep. Like I'm talking a stun creep or at least like a troll trapper, so they could do their work.
Well, we'll see what kind of creeps he's going to get. I personally wasn't ever a big fan of Enchantress as a hero, especially as of late, like 2-3 months ago. Simply because if you don't win the game for your team in the first 6 to 7 minutes, she kind of becomes a non-factor. But in the American qualifier, we've been seeing Fluff and stuff, especially playing really well for Sneaky Nick Assassin. And having No Tail in the house, he has convinced me otherwise, because he is, the biggest proponent of Enchantress. He and I have been talking how Enchantress could single-handedly win games. And we'll see if 1437 is going to have that huge impact that No Tail was bringing about or talking about.
I remember I had the same debate with Puppy almost 2 years ago when we were talking about the Enchantress, and he said one thing to me which I'll never forget, and that was with the Enchantress, you don't think about like, oh, she can't get any creeps when you go into like the mid game or the later portion of the mid game. What you're thinking is the fact you've got a hero that can do pure damage from high range and is very difficult to kill. And now with like points up and untouchable, it's very difficult for melee heroes to come in there and just like, or any heroes just come in there and kill off the Enchantress quickly while she keeps doing her DPS. The only problem you have is your life points when people can freely start attacking you. So as long as you can overcome that problem, the Enchantress as a support hero is one of the best ones in the late game, just because it ignores any kind of like armor or resistance.
All right, so laning-wise, we have Korok on the mid lane against TC's Lycan. No surprises there. Obviously, Hao has the base damage plus on one side, and meanwhile, Korok has the bottom crowing as well as Dragon Breath on the other side. Should be fairly kind of a passive farming lane, and it's going to be a TIE Hunter versus defensive trial lane. And looks like for NAR, they also has a defensive trialing against a Bat Rider. So nothing out of the ordinary for either teams.
Were abandoned. It took one Thunderstrike harassment, and then he just decides to say screw it and heads into his own jungle. While the Tide Hunter up on the top lane, 0 for 0. Qualifier, he's going to have such a fun time, man. How they like, I know Tide Hunter, like we talked about it before the Invoker pickup came up, the Tide can come in nice and close, keeps going with the Anchor Smash. There's actually minimal damage being dealt to him when he comes in that close. But once Invoker finally finds his levels, and we see Cold Snap up and running, and then maybe even EMP coming into the mix up too.
But the problem is Koifa, when he's going for the kill, he cannot get hit by the Anchor Smash, because the Exhort Invoker early on doesn't have too much damage, especially when he doesn't have that point into Exhort. If he gets hit by Anchor Smash, he's not doing any damage, so he should be careful about that when he's getting the kill. But you're right, they need essentially all 3 heroes in the lane. They need the Burrow Strike, they need a Soul Catcher, they need a Cold Snap to make sure they get the kill. And who knows what the Kraken Exterior is going to spin, or what a Kraken Shell if it procs on the improper time, they probably might not even get the kill against Brax.
You should look towards the middle lane right now. You know the creep I asked 1437 to find? He found it. Enchant to start with. There's your troll trap. That gives him all the time in the world just to attack it at TC. He'll summon up the wolves, but the kill goes away. North American Rejects off to a good start already, shutting down that Lycan early on.
Yeah, Boba's gonna just says, all right, I'll get a free lane to myself for 10 seconds or so. But he's also not having a good time because generally you want your support to pull for you and get that quick, minute 8 blink dagger. But this game, because he's stoned away from the off lane, looks like he's gonna get the enemy team is gonna get the better exchange. So NAR out drafting, in my opinion, than Team Liquid.
Yeah, it really does feel like Team Liquid's lanes are going downhill. Demon is trying to find a space up against Brax, but he just sits back. Brax knows he is completely fine up on this lane. Meanwhile, on bottom lane, like snaking, is that a Midas recipe he's already got? No, he actually picked up his Ring of Aquila as well as boots. I thought for a moment he may just go for the straight mask because he was walking around with 1200 gold on him.
Whenever Midas is purchased on a Mirana, Sing Sing just shakes his head in the lounge area.
But when you have such a great start like this, and you know you're so far ahead, would you really still want to avoid it?
Yeah, I actually asked No Tail as well as Sing Sing. I asked if you could get a minute 0 Hannah Midas, which is completely dairy crafting here. If you could get a minute 0 Hannah Midas, or if you just want that 2k gold, what would you actually get? And they say, obviously at minute 0, I want my Midas. So I say, at what point did you not want the Midas? Would you rather have that gold? They say 4 or 5 minutes in, when you could start getting that phase disruption on top, catcher as well. They do have the Cold Snap and the EMP to work here, and Brax, well, he already got the Anchor Smash off, so the damage is low, but the Howler's helping him up. A short range tornado, a secondary Anchor Smash now. Brax is too much damage. They're going to miss up the hill though, and Brax on 23 life points. He wants to munch on a tree so he can have some regeneration, but he waited a little bit too long, and he got chased down. The phase boots over on Qualifier meant they were always going to be keeping up with him. Look at how long that took, right? Like, I mean, you have phase boot on Koifa, and they literally chase for 15 to 20 seconds, so he's not getting those last hits in lane. They got the kill, that's excellent, but Hunter's gonna just TP back and just not really worry about it. He's already level 4.5, and if you compare to the Bat Rider in jungle, also level 4.5. Great rotation by Boba, because he's already in the bot lane defending that tier 1. Yeah, but look where Fogged is, with an Invis rune sitting right behind him. He's waiting for a chance to have a crack at him. We're just a little bit too far out. He wants Bulba basically down past this line, so then they'll still be attacking underneath the tier 1 tower, but they'll be able to win on the positioning. Yeah, unfortunately, Enchantress doesn't have a big creep with her anymore. The Dark Troll Summoner has timed out, so if they want to lock down on Bulba, they really need an arrow, because if you look at the Disruptor, he doesn't have Kinetic Field either. Yeah, it's fully reliant on Glimpse. Without having level 2 Glimpse, he would never be able to use it on the bottom lane, because the range is just so piddly. So I guess lane-wise, it isn't actually all that bad for Team Liquid. The good gank from Enchantress has paid off, but right now you can see that Demon is speed jungling in the dire jungle with Sandstorm, and then we have Invoker doing just fine up top. He's actually going for the Quas Wex build, a build that we don't see too much. Yeah, it's kind of funny, like we go from week to week where it keeps on changing out, but yeah, most people are looking for that Quas Exor because they're searching for these kills so much. Yeah, this game, I think the reason that he went for Quas Exort is primarily against Tidehunter and Dragonite. You throw EMP Tornado on either of these two heroes, they're not doing anything, apart from the right clicks, obviously, because there's no mana once you EMP Tornado. Very short mana. Bulba should be really careful. That Glimpse pulled him back. The Centaur actually almost going to go for the stun. Now it does do it, but Bulba elusive enough that he's even able to kill off that Centaur. He's fine here, because that Tranquil Boots, once it kicks back in, gonna regen up. Then again, with Korok with a haste rune, maybe he can't. Comes in with the Dragon Form, goes into Breathe Fire. The arrow came in from sneaking to kill Secure. And this is now not only a tier 1 tower, but with Korok still down here, they could probably add some kind of pressure towards that tier 2. Brax is soaking up the experience in middle lane, keeping TC at bay. Also, Brax, we should point out, with him being here, his level 6 is also rapidly approaching. Yeah, I mean, this just shows how well drafted the NAR lineup is. They could just do just about everything. They push well early on, they gank well early on, because that's the second or third time we see NAR diving behind and past a tier 1 tower. And with Brax getting his level 6 very soon, they could continue to push with the Ravage backing up. Here comes the arrow. Yeah. It connects. That's trouble for Void, but already with the Thunder Strike up on him, Bulba's managed to drag back Fogged.
but then again he has to drag him far enough in. Pegasus, and there's a stun from Demon going on to Korok, but Korok is just so tanky already, and they glimpse him back up again. Sand King, no Burrow Strike for 4 seconds time. The arrow flies astray. Sneaking, he's standing inside the Firefly while this is all going on, but still, it's a 4-for-1 trade. Bulba's low on life. One more attack here, up the hill, up she flies, and that's going to be a triple kill coming in for the Mirana. And this is 7 minutes and 20 seconds in, with Mirana 4 for 0.
If you got Midas on Mirana, you would not have gotten that kill. The Wolves are coming in, though. They're not actually going on Snaking. They're chasing him down. Wolves do run pretty fast. One crit, the second crit, he's got the magic stick, he's got the leap, he's fine. There's no Sunstrike coming down, so Snaking's okay. But yeah, this is the reason why you don't get the Sunstrike. If he if you don't get the Phase Boots, if you ever got the Phase Boots, you would not have done nearly enough damage to get any of those kills.
Yeah. He's ready to fight, and what he does build is something to fight even more. So the drums are coming up for the Mirana. Lycan also got scouted out with that ultimate form on cooldown, because he popped that so he could try and chase down the Mirana.
Yeah, when you pop your ultimate, your Wolves get the maximum movement speed. So he essentially popped that for summons, and unfortunately, the magic stick and the crits not enough. Or sorry, the crits were not enough to burn through the magic stick. The thing to point out is actually Enchantress gone for the Hand of Midas.
4-3-7, getting greedy. But at the same time, like with this Hand of Midas, he can rush into something like an Aghanim Scepter straight up.
Yeah.
And with that kind of range, like he's going to be keeping his distance from absolutely everybody.
I wouldn't say this is actually too
Glimpse. It's coming back in middle lane. TC, the arrow, the Wolves were in the perfect position. They body blocked the point blank range arrow, I believe. Yeah, actually no, the Wolves took no damage. It must have been a creep.
Yeah. Well, actually the Wolves, don't they have like next level recovery rate, HP wise? Might have regened all back.
Would have been completely next level. Would have been completely next level if that happened.
Yeah. I think the problem for me right now is that this Invoker hasn't actually done enough in his lane, nor has he really done much with that counter gank. He does have the Hand of Midas as a comeback mechanism, but it is really that comeback coming from.
Right now, the Ravage is just being used to hold Demon in position so they can go into a ranged dragon. The commitment just to get the kill. Considering Brax probably thinks, well, I'm not going to have a team fight anytime soon. Let's just add pressure towards the tower. Because this is splitting Liquid in 2 different ways. Yeah. They want to defend mid, and Invoker was like, he's hovering around, also going Hand of Midas. Like, he's not ready to fight yet.
No.
So NAR, they're timing this perfectly. Their push is completely perfect.
It's going to be a glimpse into a Centaur spot, but the Imp Tornado is going to come in. Bob is going to die, but not before dropping ultimate. Meanwhile, Snaking on the backline here. His spell damage is through the roof, takes down the Invoker with him. Sure will die to Sand King as well as TC under the tower, but 2 for 1 for that Invoker. It wasn't the worst trade for them.
Especially when they got the tier 1 tower on the top lane.
Yeah.
So, yeah, at the same time, NAR, they didn't have to be that over-aggressive into that kind of fight. But you think already, you've got 1 kill over on TC. We're 10 minutes in. He's building Trez before he finishes up his Vladimir's. Actually, I take that back. The Courier had his Vladimir's. He's got a little bit more money than I thought he would have had, sitting at 4.2k net worth. I actually thought that they crippled Lycan a lot more than this, but he's actually managed to recover quite nicely after that first death.
Yeah, I mean, on the mid lanes, again, trading CS for CS. We're going to see a Moonlight Shadow gank coming in if Korok...
They found Bulba.
Well,
he doesn't have ulti-form, but then again, Bulba walks back into him. Breathe fire, their arrow, point-blank range. They probably wish that they found the SK, because he just picked up his 10-minute Blink Dagger.
Well, I mean, I don't think they'll be sad, you know, delaying the Blink Dagger of that with Boba, because if you look at him, it's 1,400 gold, so...
True.
Yeah, I mean... There is a choice B for Team Liquid to initiate on with a Sand King first and the Batrider follow-up, but I think Batrider is just a little bit more important of a hero because not only does he need a Blink Dagger this game, he wants a Force Staff and likely a BKB against Ravage and Static Storm down the line as well. So stopping Batrider's farm is a pretty big deal.
To see what 1437's buying. He's sitting at 1,600 gold over on this Enchantress at the moment, and he hasn't bought Arcane Boots, he hasn't bought Treads.
Probably just a point booster,
yeah,
and then just go into Axe.
But at the same time, like, he can just go over and pick that up right now. The Courier's flown over to the Secret Shop already multiple times. There's a smoke coming out from Liquid. I think, yeah, it was spotted out. the rest of NAR on the high ground. They throw field down, they throw arrows down. They thought maybe Demon was hiding in the corner. He does that kind of stuff all the time.
Yep, they pinged him out, so if somebody clicked on him, they will realize that he has a blink dagger, and that's a huge deal. Looks like they might actually smoke again. No, they don't have any smokes left in them. So revealing the blink dagger and not really getting a team fight and a kill off, that's the issue. The other thing that we see NAR doing really well is they are initiating the pace. They're the first one to always dive behind a tower or push or do a gank, and we see Team Liquid always on the back foot. They are always reacting. And when you're reacting with slower early game heroes such as Invoker and Lycan, they really want to be there when the fight starts, not teleporting in, not circling in. So I think that's why NAR is having this big advantage so far. Yep. They're leading by 5,000 gold and just a tiny bit of experience.
It's a long way up anyway for this type of match. You still got a best of 5 for your official spot instead of TI. I don't think anyone's be like, 5,000 gold is not that big, we can come back from this. Every cent's going to count in this type of match. And Qualifier, he's trying to force him back. Just a quick tornado while on bottom lane. There's a lot of support coming in. TC was down here, but he's already backing up. Get a little bit of help actually coming in from Bulb, but without a blink dagger, Bulb was still not ready to go. He's flying up the Radiant jungle, but Murano coming over as well. Bulb's going to be very cautious doing this kind of stuff. Because if he overstays his welcome with that blink dagger and force staff, if they can see him, they can glimpse him straight back into an engagement.
I mean, we already see Fog getting so many free kills for his team via glimpse, especially that bottom fight. That triple kill that Snake King picked up, that's mostly through Fog's glimpse. So this hero has already paid off, and we're 13 minutes in the game.
He's going to go solo right now. He needs a little bit of help though. He's waiting with an invis rune, and support's coming in, but it's actually from someone else. It's the Lycan moving up. And Korok's not quite sure he wants to do this just yet. When Fogged arrives, then they'll be able to have the Static Storm, and they can control him, and that's what this is going to be. So Dragon Form is up, the field, as well as Static Storm, and Korok, well, DC, he can't go into his ultimate form, and will just take all the damage. Fogged is still losing his own life. He actually triggered his ultimate form. The Wolves will still get this kill over on Fogged, so it becomes a 1-for-1 trade, but it puts his ulti back onto cooldown again.
I mean, I think that's a great play by TC. Like, he knew he was definitely dying. There's no running from that. So he just stuck everything onto Fog and at least take him down. But if you're NAR, you're happy with that trade, killing the enemy core for a support. Meanwhile, though, it's creating a lot of space for Korok up on the top lane. Once the mechanism is finished on this TIE Hunter, we'll see NAR really starts to push this tier 1, tier 2. And to be honest, I don't think Team Liquid is ready for a mech and a Ravage online.
Not in any way. This 5v5 should be very one-sided.
Well, actually, there is... sorry, I thought for a second Dragon Knight was on the side of Liquid. No, it's going to be Korok that gets glimpsed back, but he's fine. Also, if you look at Korok, he's got a BKB online now. At this point, I don't think Lycan has enough physical damage to dent the armor of Korok, so he is an unstoppable force on the front line, especially being backed up by a mech, a Ravage, and a Static Storm. So if NAR wants, they could actually just go down the mid lane, take a tier 2, take a tier 3 even, or go Roshan. The map is theirs. They can do whatever they want.
But at the same time, they're not doing that. So Liquid have the space, Bulba comes up, that blink is up and running, they Burrow Strike into the Enchantress, and that's going to be 1-4-3-7 dead. But Tide as well as Fog, Korok, they're all rotating down towards the bottom lane. They see TC there. Sneaking will take a long time before he gets it. Actually, they got the vision. Glimpse one way, and then Burrow Strike out. It didn't get the sun over on Snaking, but he's already used that arrow of his. Korok, no ultimate form, so he can't actually follow him down and get the instant range stun out. But they're going to find the arrow. Well, okay, blinks away. Demon, a slippery little SK. He's actually away to safety here. They can't chase him any further.
Yeah, the most important thing, he's actually wasted 30 seconds or so for about 3 or 4 heroes. If you look at the top lane, Wei2's already pushing that lane. If you look at mid, Qualifier is trying his best to push it out. All they want to do is buy time and space because that's what they need for a comeback. EMP Tornado on the mid lane gets dropped. Korok, say goodbye to your mana. He's got a bottle, so it's not bad.
I like how 1-4-3-7. I don't think he knew he could, if he could have a crack at the SK. He TP'd up to the tier 1 tower at the same time as Demon was walking straight in front of it.
Maybe he was just like, I need to push out the lane. But yeah, NAR, every second they're missing here, they're giving away a little bit of their advantage because, they have the quicker mech, they have the better team fight. So Team Liquid is actually playing rather well, at least for the last minute. Started with a smoke gank on the bot lane, featuring that double blink dagger. And once the lasso's on
Korok? Outrider just walked underneath an observer and sentry ward, and it was pinged out.
Well, they are trusting in Brax. I mean, he is very tanky. And what was getting out of there?
Yeah. It's a decision he could have made. SK was on his way down to help him out, but with Roshan now being started up by Lycan, they're looking to make sure they could find some kind of collateral fight here, maybe snaking.
They
He's
will
going
find
high with 1-4-3-7. Yeah, so Qualifier 4 staffs up, so will evade the arrow. The SK and Batrider are still here. EMP turn going to go on the Enchantress. Just pops the heal up to start with a flame break will ensure the kill here on 1-4-3-7. In fact, yes, it took a little bit longer than it probably should have, but it still happens.
Yeah, great fight for Team Liquid. What their lineup is really good at is finding these scrappy like 1v2. 2v1 in the enemy jungle. They don't want to take 5v5 team fights. Again, they don't have the mech, they don't have big spells like Rapid. However, they do have the Blink Dagger initiation, so as long as they could keep the map split open, and as long as they could keep finding these random picks, their team will blossom into a 3 BKB lineup from your Invoker, from your Lycan, as well as Batrider, and suddenly Ravage and Static Storms mean nothing. So they are biding themselves a lot of time. Really, really well played.
For a crazy initiation on that middle lane. SK was just sandstorming right on top of the stairs on the dire side, and Brax with that Ravage off cooldown. He doesn't have a Blink Dagger though, so there's no way to quickly get in. This is his only downside, but Batrider 5-fight up. Looks like Bulb is looking for a way in.
Yeah, he really wants to grab that TIE Hunter. If you could kill TIE and take his gem, that's going to be huge.
Is TIE going to be the best target to attack though? Because wouldn't the Disruptor be the better one to be removing from the fight?
Yeah, Disruptor is definitely the best target and the easiest target to take down, but the dream is to kill the TIE Hunter before he uses Ravage and Mech and take this gem. Like, that's like the biggest win you could ever ask for. So if Team Liquid can ask for a freebie, that's the one. But it looks like they might actually get themselves 1437, which again, any kill that you get here is not bad.
It's not bad, but then again, I'm seeing Mirana still free farming. Good Koi buff, this will be it. So Blink in, they actually commit the lasso as well, but CP support's not coming in. Mirana will continue to finish up her Maelstrom up on that top lane. In fact, I believe she's got the money for it. Yeah, she's actually got the money for the full Maelstrom now, while in mid lane, Fogged and Brax and Korok, they're all going to apply damage to this tier 2 tower and mid into the dragon form. Korok's holding on to his DD rune for now, but this becomes a tier 1 and a hero going down for North American Rejects for damage to tier 2s.
Well, T2 is not going down. They also have a, they also use a glyph, Team Liquid, so they will defend at least the mid one. They might lose top.
They'll lose top.
Yeah,
they'll lose top.
The top one
is choose.
The top one is no near like as important as the mid tier 2 because how close it is to Roshan, but again, a victory for NAR.
Yeah. DC.
Dire's top
is that a BKB? No. There's Earn coming out to way 2 right now. TC is still like, I'm waiting for his immunity to kick in, while speaking of that, Korok's triggered off his own BKB.
Yeah, it was an EMP Tornado being dropped off, as well as a Burrow Strike to follow up, but a BKB just basically blocked everything. But that means your 10-second BKB is down, as well as your Dragon Form being used. So NAR is somewhat forced to take this fight, but again, they have the better team fight lineup, so they're not too afraid.
They're not forced to do anything while Lycan is still not there. And TC won't come until the BKB's there. Yeah. Like, he will not fight until that point.
But that's fine, I think, for Team Liquid, because they traded tier 2s, even though they lost the mid tier 2, Team Liquid is not designed to team fight right now. So if you could trade evenly, you're actually happy. So Team Liquid doing just fine.
I'd be worried though, man. Like, Liquid still lost every outer tower. Like, the only things that now defend their base are the tier 3 towers and themselves. While if North American Rejects win a fight, like, they push in. If Liquid win a fight, if they don't have the control over the bottom lane and be close, they can't actually threaten the base of North American Rejects. Yeah. Because they've got 3 towers to get through before they can do it. So basically, they've got to win 2 to 3 fights in a row up against like Tight Under Ravagers, Mirana, who's now building into her own BKB. Not looking at Disruptor, Aghanim Scepter anytime soon by the looks of it, but even the Enchantress is, well, there's an Ogre Club and now Point Booster, yeah. So the Aghanim Scepter starting to arrive for Enchantress, which means pure damage flying away at that Lycan.
Yeah, it's definitely not an enviable position, and you're absolutely right. If NAR wins a big team fight, they're taking your tier 3 and possibly Rax. Team Liquid, if they win one, you know, it's perhaps a tier 1 mid. I think the bigger objective for them, if they ever win a fight, is that Roshan. Because they have the quick damage coming out from Lycan, They have the how to make sure that everybody's right-clicking a lot harder. I think the clock is against NAR in the sense of once the BKB comes out from the 3 cores, your Aghanim Scepter Enchantress, well, pure damage doesn't really go through BKB. Your big AoE team fight doesn't go against BKB that well. So NAR, yeah, they have a pressure on them. Notice that they have full map control, but they're not taking the Roshan. They need to finish the game quick against the BKBs that are coming out. So they're just knocking on high ground. Also, we haven't seen a single Ravage from this entire game. That's kind of an odd thing, but we'll see.
Apart from the one on top, that was basically it.
Oh yeah. But we'll see another one soon because the Blink Dagger is online and they're moving as a pack.
They're doing this right. They're doing this right. They go up towards the high ground. They make Liquid look into their base. That's their primary thing at the moment. Like TC, he has the BKB. He's going to be ready to fight. Everything which Liquid need to initiate is there. Like, we got 4 stars. The only thing which is missing is Sight Device on Qualifier, but we're still 22 minutes into the game. So Liquid have everything they require, but at the same time, I'm still seeing the teamfight abilities of North American Rejects being strong enough that they just keep pushing, they just keep forcing things. With Korok with the initiation, if they get a pick off then onto a hero, like his Shadow Blade, which he's picked up, that's going to be one of those things where you could just like snipe out SD, you could snipe out the Bat Rider, and then all of a sudden, your team fight's looking absolutely amazing.
Right, yeah, it's a great pickup because again, Team Liquid wants to play that kind of style. They want to play for a pick-off style. The Shadow Blade gives you that. It gives you an answer to run away from their gank. More importantly, it gives you a way to initiate against Team Liquid. Team Liquid forced back in the base because they have really no idea where NAR was at least 5 seconds ago. And they're afraid somewhat of a smoke gank. And again, for me, the most important thing for Liquid is BKB timing. If you look at See, he's got his. If you look at Qualifier, he's actually skipping it entirely. He's going to go for a Hex or a Lincoln Sphere, we'll see. And then Boba, he's got his 4-staff finished up. I think Natus gave us a statistic of how well he's recovered. You gotta keep in mind that he was forced away from his lane at minute, what, 1? Yeah. By a Disruptor, so, you know, he's recovered admirably.
He still needs to find those pickoffs for his team, and if anyone could do it, Bulba's proven it. His puck earlier today was absolutely brilliant, but it's still a heavy ask. It's still a heavy ask. I just love the fact that North American Rejects are being active. I can't believe how many games I've actually cast these guys where you look at them and you go, they know they have the advantage, but they won't push it. And because they don't push it, they're sitting there going, oh, we had an advantage, but now for some reason they've got key items which allow them to fight us, which we've got to give a level of respect to. So then they start to become like these counter-initiators as opposed to the guys who are setting the tone of the fight.
Right. I mean, look at mid right now. Like you say, it's great to push. We need to push, but I feel that Team Liquid is so well at just casually pushing the creep way forward. Like again, top lane. Now it's pushed out to your tier 1 tower. You kind of have to deal with this. And as soon as you're dealing with this, they're pushing in a different lane. Like this is like Rat Dota in a different form. Not a straight up a Prophet or the more popular Rat Dota heroes. You just push the equilibrium, and again the mid lane, it's pushed again. So you have to send a hero to deal with that. And all of this time, Liquid is just farming their jungle. They're constantly threatening Roshan. So if you're NAR, you also have to constantly ward that area, send Enchantress creep the pit to keep things in check. As TC, at drop of the hat, he could take Roshan.
Yeah, but they actually left an Enchantress creep in there now. So with the troll there, they were looking for one kind of opening North American Rejects. They moved both the Mirana and the DK up to the top lane to try and find an opening, but they used Moonlight Shadow when they were still visible in the mid. This happened like just under a minute ago, and that was when like Bat Rider and SK, they both decided to back up, and all they gotta do is basically go past this line. Like once they get past, okay, I draw on the mini-map, that's a little bit better. Once they get past that line onto this side, they're basically safe.
Yeah.
Because you're not going to dive under the NAR unless you're a 5-man team. Because if you're not a 5-man team, you're going to lose. But while we wait for our next engagement, chat trivia time. Who are the only 3 players with a kill-death ratio over 3.0 in the TI4 qualifiers? And so 2 of them are in this game.
3 times of the kills as deaths? Is that what you mean, or? I'm guessing that's what you mean.
I'm guessing that's what it means too.
Okay, so for every 1 death, you have 3 kills. So here comes that
there's that initiation we're looking for. That's Qualifier on the sidelines for just under a minute. This one, NAR just will all
Oh,
five
the second kill.
again.
I mean, this is exactly what I mean about Disruptor. He's so strong as a hero. And going back to that Shadowblade point, without Shadowblade, that Dragon Knight would never found that initiation. So this game, we might not see a chat trivia. Like, this game might end right here.
Well, I'm already going to say
Radiant's top
Bulber is the
tower
top
is
of the
under
list,
attack.
judging by his
Dire's
plays
middle
earlier
tower
on.
is under
Maybe
attack.
I would guess the
Dire's
other two is going to be from
structures are
NAR
fortified.
because they're winning almost every single game.
And I think it's sneaking.
Yeah.
I actually think it's sneaking.
All right, we're going to see a big fight. It's going to be a smoke wraparound from Team Liquid. Sand King as well as Bat Rider is going to be
middle
flanking
tower
from the
has
side.
fallen.
They have the Bat Rider initiation. Where is he going to go on? You want to, I guess, nullify the Static Storm if you can. EMP is going to drive them back. Korok's going to just stand out of it. He has a very healthy duration of that BKB, but they'll back off for now. Oh no, he wants to re-goose. He's going back in. If you get Demon or the Bat Rider, that's going to be huge. A hit, but a force that back out, so Bat is going to be fine. But they did gain high ground advantage as a result.
Yep, and they're going to bring down the racks. Lycan refuses to come back. He's still
Dire's
farming up
middle
on the bottom
barracks
lane, so
has
they're
fallen.
actually accepting the fact they're going to lose their mid racks. Melee as well, maybe they can't accept their full thing. They want to protect us so at least it can regenerate. Lycan TC, he's now going to enter the bottom lane. No, he's TPing back now. They got themselves the last super Bulba, solo on life, and there's your Ravage actually stunning TC. The second he arrives, the BKB will trigger, be thrown to the half-life, every center over on 3 of North American rejects. They will lose one, but then Enchantress, as well as sneaking, sitting on the back line, they just keep throwing out the DPS. The melee ranks will drop. 3 Euros went down with it as well. The question is, do they try and force anything more here? Or no, the answer is no. They're backing up, they're playing it safe. They already have such a huge advantage. Korok can feature for an entire freaking, like, Mjolnir. That is now completed for him. Enchantress has himself an Aghanim Scepter. Mirana can buy himself something nice too.
Yeah, I think and we see Korok, Ush,
Qualifier.
and Qualifier, yeah. I mean, Qualifier plays essentially the quote-unquote carry role, right, for the team. Even though TC's playing the one, but Qualifier gets a ton farm. But back to this game, I think Qualifier's choice in this game of going for the Hex is too greedy for what I'm liking. The game, you're not playing for a 40-minute game. You're playing for a 25-minute game because at any given point, NAR could take one good fight and just get a racks off of you, like what we just saw. So if you know the objective is to win now, I think BKB is one of the best item choices in the game. It's not just about blocking the Ravages in the Static Storm. It means the Enchantress doesn't hit you with peer damage. Like, it gives you so much more survivability. We saw Qualifier, he walked in a fight, got Ravaged, and immediately died. So Team Liquid, they need to play excellently.
The 5-second arrow on TC. The Hawkstorm's coming off cooldown in 2 seconds time, and then sneaking just pops the BKB. He'll get lassoed up towards the high ground. Disruptor, well, I say it's disruption on Lycan. He's on the edge of the Static Storm, but then 1-4-3-7 going to keep these hits going the way of TC. They've got to kill off the Lycan, and they got him too. 2 on the sidelines, and then sneaking. He still survives, even after being lassoed up by a Bat Rider. There was just no follow-up. Blink out to a TP, and they just call it. There is no way for Liquid to regain control of this game.
I mean, BKB is an item we've seen throughout time, like 2010,
Radiant
2011,
victory.
2012. It's not until most recently we see the item being heavily nerfed, but this is a perfect example to go 3, 4, 5 BKB if you can. BKB is the perfect choice in this game, and Team Liquid only had one, and they lost.
Yeah. At the same time, man, it came down to how much money they got in the early stages. You want to try and get these BKBs up and run.